Yes, Dick, I know it's pretty dark outside still, but it's 64 degrees out there.
Okay, that's right.
And that's why I'm claiming it's a good day.
Okay. Anytime it's 60 degrees in March, it's a good day.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Paul. We have Tanner Lee and morning and Todd Van Sickle with us this morning.
Morning, Dick. Thank you for having me on today.
Yeah, glad to have you here. Well, I see the governor has closed all schools until May 1st. Is that right, Tanner?
Yep. He announced that about 1 o'clock yesterday, I think. 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, somewhere between 12:30 and 1:45.
Okay, that's the same time frame. So.
It's probably right after the Corona Task Force announcement in Washington.
Yeah, it was shortly right around that time frame.
Schools are doing e-learning. Restaurants and bars are all closed to the public as far as dine-in. Some restaurants are still doing takeout. Shop local and order some takeout from a local restaurant.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Have you ordered any takeout yet, Tanner?
Had a bagel shop yesterday and Andretti's. So.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. U.S.-Canadian border halts non-essential traffic. How do they determine what's essential on this?
That's a good question. Maybe
Food, medical supplies.
Banks, I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
Banks are essential businesses.
Okay. Yesterday was the first day of spring.
it feels like it today.
Woo! Yeah. And along that line, we got a little trivia about spring. What does spring symbolize? Is it rebirth, faith, or love? Okay, Tanner, tell us what's happening in the sports world. Not much, huh?
Well, unfortunately, not a whole lot. There was some NFL free agency movement from earlier this week. Free agency started on Wednesday, but the tampering period began Monday, so a lot of deals were getting done. The big news around the NFL world is Tom Brady is not going to be a New England Patriot come the 2020 season. It looks like he's going to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, which I wouldn't have guessed that a few weeks ago, but things worked out.
Money talks.
Money talks, and
Does he get a portion of jersey sales?
that's a good question.
So he might get more money because of, people want the Tampa Bay jersey
Oh,
too.
Tampa Bay fans will, I'm sure, flock and buy his jersey. But it'll be interesting to see what other players they can get. They do have some young wide receivers, a decent defense, and a head coach who has coached quarterbacks such as Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Carson Palmer, even Andrew Luck, and Bruce Arians. So we'll see if that's a good fit or not. It'll just be interesting to see the Patriots without Tom Brady. We haven't seen that in 20 years. So.
Will he have the same number?
Number 12, yes, there is a player on the Buccaneers right now that has that number, but he'll get a nice little cash deal or some kind of gift from Tom, I'm sure.
I know a lot of times that's what happens is they buy the right for the jersey.
Yeah,
It's probably
right, or
6 figures or something like that.
yeah, I think it's a pretty good little trade-off for the person who gives the number up. But locally, the two local teams around here, the Colts and the Bears, both made moves for new quarterbacks. Colts signed Phillip Rivers to a 1-year, $25 million deal. Phillip's been a Charger his whole career, so he's dealing with a change of scenery. And the Bears traded for Nick Foles, gave up a 4th-round draft pick to the Jaguars. Now they already got Mitchell Trubisky, who they took 2nd overall a few years ago. I guess this is a way to give them some competition, and best man wins. So we'll see.
What's the bigger signing for the Colts, the defensive lineman or the quarterback?
Quarterback makes the bigger news, but the defensive lineman might take him over the edge. I mean, they gave up the 1st-round draft pick for him, and he's the 2nd highest paid defensive tackle now in NFL history. So I kind of think that's the bigger news, even though the quarterback takes the headlines. But that was some nice positive news this week. NFL free agency to kind of give everybody a little sports fix and take their mind off what's going on. And the NFL draft is still scheduled, but without the public. That'll be on April 23rd through 25th. And a few college athletic notes. Indiana University has a new athletic director starting in May. Scott Dolson is going to replace Fred Glass. I did not know who Scott Dolson was until I researched him a little bit. He has been Fred Glass's right-hand man for the last 13 years or so. So I guess he knows the culture and everything. So.
It's okay. You're a Purdue fan. You're not expected to know. I'm
Thank
an
you.
IU fan. I didn't even know.
Well, that makes me feel better. So, and then Dick brought up to me this morning. I forgot to put down my notes. Rick Pitino is back in the college basketball world as he has agreed to become the new head coach at Iona University.
It's
So-
a small Catholic school on
Yep.
the East Coast, right?
Yep. They've had some good teams in the past, but we'll see if the sanctions. He's got some sanctions with him, so it'll be interesting if that follows him to Iona or not.
They've occasionally been in the NCAA tournament, haven't
They have, yeah. Usually it's a pretty low seed. They're in one of those conferences where you have to win the conference tournament. But interesting to see him pop back up in the college basketball world after spending some time overseas. So,
Okay, let's talk about the final college standings.
yeah, the final
Basketball.
rankings came out in basketball. Kansas was number 1, Gonzaga number 2, and Dayton round off the top 3. You know, those are the schools I feel bad for right now. In particular, is the schools like Dayton, who are having a great year, and who knows if they're ever going to have a chance to make a run again like they were set this year. But
And Butler ended up in the top 25.
yep, so
Now, where's IU, Purdue, and Notre Dame?
on the outside looking in. But
Okay.
I think Indiana was safe to make the tournament. Purdue and Notre Dame would have had to make a run, if not win their conference tournament. But fortunately, we're going to have to wait till next year to
Yeah, wait on
get
next
March
year.
Madness, which the Final Four is in Indianapolis next year.
Is it?
Yes, so
Okay.
big
That's
deal.
great.
Yeah, that'll be great for the city. There'll be even more attention, I think, to that next year than years past. Got some tidbits here this morning. On this day in 1816, the U.S. Supreme Court affirmed its right to review state court decisions. I was surprised I went back that far. On this day in 1930, the American fast food restaurant chain KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, was founded by Colonel Sanders in North Corbin, Kentucky. Still going strong today.
Yeah.
On this day in 1954, the first newspaper vending machine was put in use. Don't see as many of those as we used to, but there still are some.
I remember the days where there were newsstands on corners where you bought newspapers from.
Newspapers and the magazines and lots of different things like
Wow. Now we're living in the digital world.
that. Yeah.
And on this day, in 1989, the MLB announced that Reds manager Pete Rose was under investigation. Well, long story short, he ended up being accused of gambling and unable to make uneligible for the Hall of Fame. Still to this day, so still one of the greatest baseball players ever played the game. And on this day last year, the Walt Disney Company acquired 21st Century Fox for a little price of $71 billion with a B dollars. So
You notice they've changed the name?
what is it
They
now?
dropped Fox. It's just 21st century.
It's 21st Century now?
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know that. $71 billion.
Yeah, I'm still wrapping my head around that amount of money.
And today is International Day of Happiness. It's also,
Yay.
yeah,
Let's be happy.
Yeah, we
Yes.
did that. It's also a Proposal Day, World Storytelling Day, Kiss Your Fiance Day, Hufflepuff Pride Day. I'm not sure what that is. Won't You Be My Neighbor Day, Ravioli Day, and this one was really unique. I had to look this one up. Snowman Burning Day, and it was for snowman candles.
Oh,
So
okay.
not go build a snowman if it's cold enough, snowy enough, and then burn it down somehow. It's not
With a
that.
flamethrower
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah. Because I was really confused by that time.
This happened in the northern latitudes, you know?
It must, yeah. Because I was kind of scratching my head at that one.
Okay, thank you,
You're
Tanner.
welcome.
Some upcoming events. Faith Outreach Center is serving chicken, pork chops, ribs, and potatoes today from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the church parking lot. Wow.
That was in the paper as of yesterday morning. If that's been canceled or postponed since, I apologize.
Yeah.
I have not seen that.
Well, if it's been canceled, they better call the radio station
Yeah.
and let us know about that. Okay, some flowers. Local law enforcement for handling the armed robbery situation Friday night. Wow, we had an armed robbery downtown in Rochester.
Yeah, one of the auto parts stores here in town. Kind of
Yeah.
scary situation, but the local law enforcement did a good job.
Also, some flowers to the Rochester High School team made up of Blake Plummer, Kyle Reinhardt, William Smith, and Gunnar Alderman for winning Fedco's first pitch.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. Fedco had different groups from different high schools come in and make a pitch for them. And very good experience for those.
Can I add a flowers, Dick?
Pardon me?
Can I add a flowers?
Sure.
How about to our healthcare workers? They're out there on the front lines with all this and dealing with a lot of stress and challenges. And our hats off to all the healthcare workers, and keep doing what you're doing and keep us safe.
I got it right here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You read their mind.
Yeah, that's right. And you watch TV, and some of these people are, especially healthcare workers, are just in a
Tough situation.
tough situation for sure.
They pledged to serve people, but also it's unusual and challenging times.
Mhm.
We'll talk to you a little bit later about some of the things that are going on in First Federal.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, money news. Dow was up 188 yesterday. The implied up today is 550. It's just all over the map. Oil is all over the map also. That's why the the gasoline is a little cheaper now. Fed dropped rates again. They did it on Sunday afternoon. Last Sunday afternoon they dropped the rates down almost to zero. And it's between 0 and 0.125.
Yeah.
So
Is that the first time you've seen that happen on a Sunday?
yes,
Thought that was unusual.
Wow.
unusual. Yeah, I guess so. Wow. Well, the 10-year, which kind of governs what happens in the mortgage market, it got as low as 0.33, and yesterday it closed at 0.99, almost 1. It was above 1 for a while. So that gives you a little indication of what the mortgage market is doing. We have had to raise a couple times this week, and not that we want to, but we need to because of what's happening. Okay, our lobbies are all closed. We're going to talk a little more about that. You can use the drive-in. You can always bank with us online and with our mobile apps. Tanner, tell us what our special is this week.
For a Simply Free checking account?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about? Well, if you open up a new checking account with us, not only Simply Free checking account, but also a Simply Free business checking account, you'll get a free gift. And our gift right now is an Ironworks 142-piece tool set.
Okay.
So it is a nice little tool set.
We urge you to come in, and how are we handling that, Todd? Somebody wants to open an account
So
then.
we're taking appointments basically,
Okay.
and we're trying to do as much as we can, collect information on the phone first, and then we want to make sure that our customers feel comfortable. And if you're more comfortable doing the transactions in the drive-through, we can exchange the paperwork for the drive-through, or make a curbside appointment for you to kind of have you sign a couple things. But we're still there if you want to open an account. We're just trying to be a little more cautious and make sure our customers and our employees are protected.
Yeah, we're really interested in that protection of our employees and the customer.
And we'll talk about that at length in a second.
Okay. Okay, tell us about Facebook and things that we have available.
Yes, you can keep up with the latest news and updates from First Federal all over the social media world, I guess. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Our handle is @FFBanking. You can also like us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're slowly trying to really grow our YouTube channel, so we're on all of those platforms.
We're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County, and we don't want to be the biggest, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are a member of FDIC and the Equal Housing Lender, and our NMLS number is 399927. Well, I also want to mention that in our Plymouth branch yesterday, Lisa Zintz celebrated her 30th anniversary with us in retirement.
30th work anniversary with First Federal, the head teller up in Plymouth. She does a great job. A lot of nice comments over on Facebook that I haven't been able to like yet, but I will this morning.
And she's very committed and does a great job in Plymouth, and is a friend and trusted confidant to our customers out there.
Okay, our special guest this morning is Todd Van Sickle. He's Vice President of Operations and Technology at First Federal. Welcome. We're glad to have you with us.
Thank you, Dick.
And I know you're up to your eyeballs in the situation with the disease that we have. And
That'd be great. I'd be happy to talk about
all right,
that.
let's tell us a little bit of what First Federal's doing.
Well, first and foremost, the highest priority is the health and safety of our customers and employees. As we all know, our country's facing an unusual and challenging situation. It's quickly evolving and changing day by day, hour by hour. Please know that we have every intention of addressing safety concerns as new developments occur. We have a pandemic preparedness plan. We've had it on the shelf for many years. We go over it annually. We've done significant updating in the last month, but we're working through our various aspects of our plan. We have a pandemic response team that meets at a minimum daily. Yesterday we met 3 times. Another day we met 2 times. I'm in constant contact with management of our bank pretty much from, got text at 7 o'clock this morning, and we were still texting last night at 10 o'clock, just trying to figure out, okay, what is our next step, what is our response to this, and just to make sure that we continue providing our banking services and that we're meeting the safety and health needs of our employees too. So that's what we focus a lot on. We're making day by day and fact by fact decisions. It's our intent to basically follow the general guidelines of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, State of Indiana, and local authority guidelines. On Wednesday, we did close our lobbies. Our drive-up lanes remain open to serve our customers in our usual banking hours. Most banking transactions can be completed in our drive-up. We're working in our offices still, so our offices are still open for our staff, but just the teller lobby traffic is closed. If you need an appointment to talk to somebody about an issue or concern or a loan application or deposit account, don't hesitate to call the bank at 223-2128 to make an appointment. In addition to serving all our transactions through the drive-up lane, we do have a digital suite of services to meet our customers' banking needs. So things we've done in the bank basically is, like, we've limited travel, we're not allowing vendors to come in, we're not allowing, all our meetings basically are teleconference now to practice the social distancing. We're encouraging that. We're cleaning our branches on a daily basis with a little extra effort, and even during the day we've asked, we brought our cleaning crew in Rochester specifically to do a complete antiseptic wipe of all high-touch areas every night. We're asking our individual family members to wipe down their work area. We've got hand sanitizer and sanitizing wipes positioned everywhere, basically to make sure that we keep the areas clean. Drive-up area, for example, we're wiping down tubes many times during the day to keep those safe for ourselves and our customers. So those are some of the things we're doing. With our digital services, they're fast, simple, convenient for any day and any time for our customers. And let me just go over a couple of those. You know, debit cards are great for using for cashless transactions. Often money is the dirtiest thing you can touch sometimes, so I encourage use of your debit cards for cashless transactions. We have Apple Pay and Google Pay. That's the most secure way to pay and limit your contact with merchants, actually. Because you can still almost practice social distancing. And, like, for example, I have an Apple Watch, and most retailers now, I just press a button on here and hold it up to the little pad they have by the cash register, and transaction goes through securely. It's the most secure transaction because the merchant does not have any information about your card. It's basically the token that is exchanged to one-time authorization to make the transaction go through.
That isn't a Dick Tracy watch you've got.
No. It's pretty common anymore. A lot of people have them. I mean, it's does a lot of things that being used, like, I never really thought, like Apple Pay now, how convenient that would be just to help practice that social distancing. And you can use your phone too with Apple Pay too. So we have Zelle person-to-person payments. So Tanner, if you're going out and carrying out and getting a pizza, and I want to pay you for some of that pizza, I can just Zelle you the money, and it's fast, convenient, and happens instantly.
Yeah, it shows up in a matter of minutes. I just did that last week with a friend. We split a pizza. And,
So that's a great way to practice some social distancing and not, physically write a check to hand it to somebody or give them cash. use the Zelle person-to-person payments. Our online, mobile, and telephone banking are always available 24/7. We still get thousands of calls through telephone banking. So if you're, you can still call us and get a balance, but telephone banking is a way to do that too. Through our mobile banking, if you do get a check that you want to deposit, and I mean everybody's encouraging everybody to stay home right now. The national government, the state, use our mobile deposit feature. That way you don't have to travel to the bank. Just take a picture of the check and it'll be in your account. Online bill payments, another way to kind of avoid contact with others. Through online bill payment, basically you can pay all your bills, telephone company, light company, other things, and most of those companies actually do bill presentment, which means that in your online bill payment, the bill will automatically be there, so you don't have to worry about even getting the mail anymore. And for paying bills, you don't have to worry about going to the post office, getting stamps, envelopes, and exposing yourself to other people at the time right now, which we can't wait to get back to normalcy so that we can interact with everybody. But I just wanted to highlight some of the things we can do to help our customers out to continue meeting their banking needs. One other thing that we have is, a couple of years ago we implemented something for our loan payments where you can, if you don't have an account with First Federal, you can go online to our website and use our Make a Payment service. So if you have the money deducted from your checking account, there's no fee for that. So it's very simple. You can set up a recurring payment. So that's one less thing you have to worry about, and you don't have to use your coupon book, take that out, go to the post office and mail it, or go to the bank and make your payment. Use our Make a Payment service. We are starting to get some inquiries about, should I be concerned about banking and are you going to close? Well, it's our plan for our lobbies always to be open, and through a lot of things that I've read, that a bank is an essential business defined by various states and the federal regulators, because we need to keep the money system working, and our employees are very dedicated. We've made some accommodations for them to try to do social distancing and do some other things, and be very flexible with our staff to meet their needs, because our staff is what makes the bank go. And we have a very dedicated team, and their commitment is, I can't speak to how well they're doing with that. It's a lot of challenging times, because just like every other business out there, we're making decisions on, well, how do we do this in social distance, and how do we protect our employees, how do we protect our customers. So one question we're getting about cash withdrawals.
Our special guest this morning is Todd Van Sickle, Vice President of Operations and Technology, and our coronavirus expert.
I don't know about expert. I've done a lot of reading.
Well, you've done a lot of reading and a lot of.
And I watch a lot of the White House coronavirus
updates.
Up teams, yeah. So cash withdrawals. We just want to remind our customers that the bank still is the safest place to keep your money. If you're thinking about taking money out, because we remember other times, we're a strong bank. We're very well capitalized. The bank is the safest place to keep your money, and we want you to consider your safety and security if you're thinking about a large cash withdrawal. Don't hesitate to talk to us. Call us or make an appointment to talk to us. Your deposits are FDIC insured, and worst case scenario, we still plan to keep our drive-ups open, so we'll always be there for you. So that's one of the things we're looking at. We're making decisions on a day-by-day basis. Dick, you've been in all those phone calls, because we're not actually meeting personally anymore. So
Right.
Even, we may have 4 people in our office in a row. We're doing it from our offices with conference calls.
Okay, talk a little bit about what we're doing by departments and splitting them up, and having part of us work at home.
And we're starting to expand that a little bit more. We're going to talk to our staff this morning about that. We're trying to make sure that critical functions are supported, so that, God forbid, the virus does get involved in the community here, and that our family members or their family members become involved with it, that we can still provide banking services. So we're starting to do a little workforce separation, from allowing some people to work at home, accommodating people that have, maybe they've been in indirect contact with somebody that's being tested. We're allowing them to be at home, and we're making sure that they won't suffer financially from that. We're meeting school needs for our employees too. If they have kids that are involved in e-learning, or there's childcare issues with that too. So those are some of the things we're doing, trying to accommodate our staff, keep our bank running, and meet our customers' needs.
And we're also continuing to pay their salary.
That's a good thing, Dick. You were very generous and very grateful for that. That's the very first decision we made last Thursday and Friday was, if you need to self-quarantine for some reason because you think you may have been exposed, or if you have child care issues, we want you to be with your family and be at home. And Dick and the board was gracious enough to say, this is a tough situation. Don't worry about pay. We'll take care of that for you.
Thank you for stopping by this morning. I know you got another meeting coming up in about 15 minutes, and you've been a busy guy, and we appreciate you updating us on
Thank you,
this.
Dick.
Our trivia this morning is, what does spring symbolize? Since yesterday was the first day of spring, does it symbolize rebirth, faith, or love? You got an idea on that, Paul?
I'm thinking it's rebirth.
You're right. Oh, you got the last
Yeah,
two,
last two,
right?
yeah.
2 for 2 now, or 3 for 3.
Yeah.
You're gonna get
2
stumped.
of 3.
I'm gonna make it harder for you next week.
Okay.
Let's close with these words of wisdom by Mandy Hale. We were discussing who Mandy Hale is, and we decided she's a young author and has done several books. But her quote is, "Whatever you're facing today, keep going, keep moving, keep hoping, keep pressing on. There is victory at the other side." That's an optimistic viewpoint.
I like that.
Thank you, Todd, for stopping by. Thank you, Tanner.
Welcome.
And Sydney, we're glad to have you back with us
Yeah.
for you're on break.
Yep.
And you may be on break a long time.
Sounds like it.
Well, we're glad to have you, and thank you, Paul.
Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you next week.